Wow. Okay. One of the things they accused us of recently in Dublin here was intimidating them. And I think I've now got a new thing we can shout at them, Tori, thanks to you.
What is it?
Grade 0, flunk.
Yeah.
I love that one. I love that one because that's a bugbear with me as well, that they have all this communication thing going on and they can't do it. They can't use it. I'd also like to acknowledge Anonymous because I wouldn't be here but for the Anons. The Anons, February 2008 was what started me waking up. So thanks everybody who's anonymous. Okay, moving on. What we're going to do now is introduce some people from France, and I'm going to introduce Vicieux. Is that right? Vicieux? And he's going to introduce our next speaker. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Vicieux.
Bonjour à tous. Hello. I'm going to talk about the recent events in France about Scientology. Everybody knows, in February 2012, Scientology was condemned, has been sentenced in April by the French justice at 600,000 euros of fine for illegal practices of medicine.
Really?
Yeah. Pharmacy. And for organized fraud. So today, the Scientology wanted to do a new appeal, but they have to pay the fine first. Good luck, Osa. The important thing is that Scientology is losing ground in Europe, and particularly in France, in Germany, and in Belgium. The illegal practices are known by everyone. They can't hide themselves because Anonymous is following them, is everywhere. And some Scientologists can be anonymous. Who knows? Who knows people who give us information? Who knows? People told us, look, this guy is coming in France, he's a very important Scientologist. And sometimes, when they do show, we are there. We are looking what they are doing. Sometimes they are attracting with little tracts on street. Hey, go, free. It's a free movie, you can go. You can look this movie, and after this, we can talk about the genetics. 5 minutes after that, there is 2 or 3 anonymous. Hey, do you have the authorization for this? No? Okay, I call the police. And sometimes, they get fines, 200, 300 euros of fine. So Scientology is losing a lot of ground in Europe, in France. And Scientology business companies like Eagle's Flight, like members of the WISE group, is losing contracts. Last year we have done an operation, the Red Mail operation. We sent a letter to 96 French big companies, very big companies, about some problem that Eagle's Flight were giving to their company. Management advices, management trainings, and they didn't know that Eagle's Flight was, and still is, a Scientologist company. Today, officially, we don't have news about this event, about this operation. But in reality, we know that a lot of French companies have stopped all their contracts with Eagle's Flight. That's a good point, because Scientology now in Europe are trying to keep people off from their family, from their children, from their friends, by using this training, management trainings, and in fact it's genetic trainings. So, as you know, Nono de Clown has been assaulted in March 2011 with me in Paris. Unfortunately, the police didn't do its job properly. They didn't read the rights at the first aggressor correctly. So this guy is free. We lost the first part of the case, and we need your help to go on the appeal. to tell at the French justice that nobody can beat someone on the street and exits free without fine, without prison, without any problem. When you beat someone on the street, you have to go in jail, you have to be punished. Saint-Turgis is not a part. Saint-Turgis should be judged like everyone. And I hope that soon we will succeed to condemn this guy for his assault. I wanted to tell you that in August 25, we will do a mega raid in Paris. You're all invited. We expect more than 500 anonymous and anonymous friends. And I hope that some of you will join us for this mega raid. Who knows? Maybe the Saint-Turgis will close their little org for this day, but it's not a problem, because if they close their org, it will be an epic win. No. Thanks for all of you, anonymous, non-anonymous. I'm really happy to see you all. A friend of mine, a very big friend of mine, I call her Nefertiti, will join me. Please, come. I'm sorry for this English exercise. I'm not really good. Nefertiti.
Merci, monsieur.
Look at this camera. Look at this camera.
Alors, attends.
Hey, Osa.
Good evening, Dublin, from Paris. Okay. So, can I look at... I'm half deaf. Wait a minute. There it is. Okay, so this is the light. No, sorry. Let's try again. All right, so... no, sorry, it won't work. Wait a minute. Let's take it off. You won't be long. All right. Again! Okay, so I thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak out this evening. And before I continue, I have to clear up a few things. First of all, please let me apologize, but to be unable to uncover my face at this point, it is important to me to remain anonymous to protect others I am associated with. I'm sure you understand. Secondly, English language is not my native language, so excuse me if I happen to stumble sometimes and forgotten some word, or, well, I brought a paper to help me out. Finally, it won't be long, don't worry. 12 minutes. So what I have to say is not an easy subject for me to tackle, but I will share it with you anyway. It is about the prison camps of the Church of Scientology, called the Rehabilitation Project Force, RPF for short. I wish to share the information I have experienced on a first-hand basis, as well as I can, while remaining anonymous. Anytime a CR organization executive deems it necessary, he can order a person to be sent to the RPF. It is not true that the person agrees to redeem. It is not true the person voluntarily agreed to go to the RPF and treated as a prisoner. The person is forced to sign papers saying she agrees to be imprisoned, but the person doesn't know what the hell is the RPF about until he or she gets there. Furthermore, the unfortunate victim, because it is a victim, you see, is forced to sign a document absolving the Sea Org and any other Scientology corporation for any liability should he become injured or even killed. Yeah, this is the RPF. The person is also denied any contact and any communication whatsoever with anyone outside the RPF. I mean, what kind of society is this? What kind of church is this? What kind of organization is this? I'm very angry. Yes, I am. You know when you get there. Oh, yes, you know. But you don't know when you'll be out. As a matter of fact, you can't leave. It's called, as a joke, it's like Hotel California. You know when you get there, but you can never leave. I mean, you can check in, but you can never leave. So unless you've been there, the degrading RPF experience is very, very difficult to describe. I was chatting with a person who was the security chief in CLO East US or whatever. Listen to what he told me recently. I was ordered to stop people from leaving, but I didn't. It was like kidnapping. So I utterly ignored when they blew. But the exec in charge used to give me lower conditions when people blew, and I didn't stop them. End of quote. In fact, they hold your passport in a safe. Yes, they hold your passport in a safe. You have no money. The pay is practically non-existent. You have $5, if ever. You have been living on a cult long enough to have family lives cut off. You are physically weak. And on top of that, completely brainwashed. It takes a huge amount of mental energy to overcome whatever you have been believing in to make the decision to blow. I joined because I wanted to save the planet. Oh yes, I was so naive. I want to save the planet. And the next thing, I'm locked in a cave. Locked in a cave without food, only leftover. I mean, even my dog wouldn't have such a treatment. It is very painful to admit that TOS is a complete con, created by a sickened mind and ruled now by a psychopath. All you know is you have to flee. The program is so harsh that it jeopardizes both your physical and mental health. In fact, gradually, you feel like losing your mind. It is very insidious. Suddenly, you can't even think. And then you say, oh, I'm going to die. If I stay here, I'm going to die. Jesse Prince told me 2 weeks ago, my first hard time in the RPF lasted 18 months. After that was over, I was on autopilot. I didn't need anyone to watch me because I was programmed to watch myself. End of quote. They program to watch yourself because they know you're so badly brainwashed. Like this. The repeated confession sex acts are meant to break you over and over and over and over again until you invent imaginary sins and actually believe that you are a criminal. You actually believe you are a criminal. It forces you to accept the humiliation of being deprived of all your social, family, and human rights. In the long run, nervous breakdown and other psychological pathology lead the person to develop mental illnesses meant to destroy utterly the personality. In fact, the person progressively becomes a robot and a working slave. Okay, you want some more? Scientology technology is used to degrade an individual. by making the person confess to non-existent criminal acts through security checking procedures. Each day, the person has to do heavy physical labor in the heat of Californian desert or Florida, to name a few. This becomes a living hell. The person becomes mentally numb and dumb as a result of the Scientology auditing, and he's forced to have. So the culture of the people of the RPFs is one of total submission and sacrifice to the cult. The people monitor each other, and a deep hopelessness and depression can set in, making the person go insane. In fact, insanity is a byproduct of Scientology auditing and training. There's some more. That's true. People in the RPF are considered to be the lowest of the low and are treated without compassion. Here is what the guru of that cult wrote in one of his books called The Science of Survival. Any person from 2.0 down on the tone scale should not have in any society, any civil right of any kind. And such people should be taken from the society as rapidly as possible and uniformly institutionalized. Also, the other way for handling of such people is to dispose of them quietly and without sorrow. Last but not least, if you totally want to enslave people, tell them that you are going to give them total freedom. If you really want to enslave people, tell them you are going to give them total freedom. LRH. End of quote. Well, he then made sure that RPFs were created for that purpose. This conman had a particular vision of mankind. As some people of you mentioned here, the PTSSP. 20% of the society is either PTS or SP, right? 2.5 criminal and the rest PTS.
Just to explain what PTS is, potentially troubled source, and that's a person connected to an SP.
So we agree this is 20% of the population. Okay? So 20% of the society, either SP or PTS, has to be institutionalized. Okay, so how many billions of people on Earth are we? 7? Yeah, 7 billion people. So a rapid calculation gives that around 1.4 billion people should be institutionalized, right? This is LRH technology. Yes. This is it. I mean, this is complete madness. So, like Stalin did? I don't know. So all the raw meat and degraded beings and PTS and SP, 1.4 people instituted. This like it. Putain, c'est que... I don't know. So there's even worse. The best proof the person can't leave the RPF is the following. If he ever wishes to go, the person is immediately sent to the RPF's RPF. There is more insanity to the insanity. So at that stage, the person reaches a complete horror and completely live in terror. So then you would ask, are those prison camps legal in the USA? Apparently, they realized that human trafficking was violating the law. Well, at least that's something. All I know is that COS gulags, because that is what they are holding people against their will. And that for sure is against the law. It is called kidnapping, sequestration, illegal confinement. The same chief of security of CLOSUS said, I saw 2 CO CMO run, several EPFers, nannies, CO estates blow. Many blow from the port side door leading from the top floors. 21 people were ordered to stop from leaving. Several times I was ordered by the senior Haas to go to the Newark airport and apprehend and return. I would say that in 2 years' time, I witnessed around 30 people blowing. Only once I was ordered to chase, yes, chase, like an animal, after 2 people. But I ignored most of the people blowing, end of quote. Well, if only had I known this information, I would have made some research and, of course, would never have to write The Guru's Gulag, a story of an escape under the pseudonym Nefertiti, which was on the web in 1997, hosted by Laura Manette. I just want all here to know that I appreciate the fact that we are gathered here in protest and defiance of the criminal acts of Scientology against unsuspected people. So please spread the word that COS is an extremely dangerous cult, hiding prison camps under the disguise of redemption programs. Germany denied Scientology the status of church. What are other European governments doing to protect citizens from this American cult? Talk to your deputy, member of parliament, representative, write letters, be active, because we do not forget and we do not forgive. Thank you.